Muslims believe that the prophet who was foretold in this scripture was Muhammad. And I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why they believe that. Number one, God said that he would raise a prophet like Moses. In other words, the person that God promised to raise was going to be like Moses. And Muslims argue that only one prophet in the history of mankind was like Moses, and that was Muhammad. Because Muhammad was a lawgiver, just like Moses was a lawgiver. Number two, Muhammad was a nation builder like Moses, because before Moses there was no nation of Israel. The second point that they used to support that argument is they said that what God said was that he would raise a prophet like Moses from among their brethren. And they think that God couldn't be talking about Israel and still use their brethren. And so their brethren could only refer to the descendants of Ishmael. Now let's examine that claim in the light of that scripture. We won't need to go elsewhere to debunk that lie. I have taught you before now that in reading the Bible, context matters. There is what you call the law of context, where you check the surrounding passages, because there is no verse of the Bible that stands in isolation. Every word, every sentence, every paragraph, every verse, every chapter, every book is connected, such that the Bible forms a single tapestry of the truth of God. Now, let's apply the law of context to this argument. Now, this conversation started in chapter 17. So if you're going to understand what is being said in the 18th chapter, you have to start reading from the 17th chapter. And then the phrase which they mistook to refer to the people of Ishmael at first appeared in 17th chapter. Please go back to Deuteronomy chapter 17 and look at verses 15. Go back to verses 14. Now look at this, everybody, and let's read. Now let's go. And possess it and dwell in it, and say, I will set a king over me like all the nations that are around me. Verses 15 now, go on. A king over you, whom the Lord your God chooses, one from among your brethren, you shall set as king over you. You may not set a foreigner over you who is not your brother. What was God saying here? Who is the brethren from among whom they could appoint king there? He was talking about fellow Israelites. In the last line, God clarified it. You may not set a foreigner over you who is not your brother. So, the context of the phrase among your brethren there is referring to fellow Israelites. So, if the phrase from among your brethren in verse 15 here refers to fellow Israelites, then there is no way that the prophet that God will raise from among their brethren will be a foreigner. Definitely that prophet would be a Jew like them. Is this clear?